Joined now by Michael, former chair of the RNC. He's joining me right now. Also, Matt Schlapp, chairman of the American Conservative Union. So let's talk about some of the people that weren't in the top three tonight, meaning Fiorina got a lot of heat tonight, a lot of action. Right. Certainly, I was going to say the president, Donald Trump. He's not the president yet. He's the front runner still, we believe. And, of course, Dr. Carson all did well. They did well. But let's talk about some of the other people. Who do you think came from the back of the pack? We had Kasich here. Everybody says he does always well to a point.
To a point. I actually think, it was interesting how they were stacked up because
they lined up physically.
Yeah, I actually think the middle part of the stage, maybe they got more time, but they certainly seemed to score more points. And I kind of look at the ends. I look at the Huckabee, I look at Rand Paul, and I didn't feel like they scored as many points.
That sort of parallels how they stood in the votes coming in.
Well, it's
just how they put them together. Right. The better people in the middle.
That's true, but I think it was also the way this thing played out. You would think over 3 hours, 180 minutes, that those guys at the ends would get a little bit more time than they got as well. And I think that factored in. You're right. A lot of it was focused on the center. I mean, Chris, we spent
3 hours. Right. They all got a lot of time.
Well, everybody took a shot at Trump, so he got a shot back.
The first 20 minutes or so was all Trump. I mean, so you all of a sudden you're beginning to eat into what you're going to do on the back end, number one. But I think in terms of who really kind of moved up a little bit, Chris Christie did himself, I thought, a good job tonight. He moved himself back.
He didn't look hurt.
He did not look hurt. I thought he looked very strong.
Let's take a look. Many people tonight took on Donald Trump. Of course, a lot of these contestants sort of measured their plan by how much they could go after him. Did anyone land an effective blow against him? Well, let's watch and decide.
I think really there's a sophomore quality that is entertaining about Mr. Trump. His visceral response to attack people on their appearance, short, tall, fat, ugly. My goodness, that happened in junior high. Are we not way above that? Would we not all be worried to have someone like that in charge of the nuclear arsenal?
Mr. Trump, we don't need an apprentice in the White House. We don't need an apprentice in the White House. We have one right now.
One thing that only the federal government can do is keep us safe, and a president better be up to date on those issues on his first day in office.
We're at a crossroads right now. Are we going to take the Reagan approach, the hopeful, optimistic approach, or the Donald Trump approach? The approach that says that everything is bad, that everything is coming to an end.
Rubio has a kind of a boys state aspect to him. He's got the best delivery.
Right.
He's memorized all the names. He took it to Trump. You don't know all the names like I do. I've memorized all the names. I know who Netanyahu is and all these guys. I just wonder, is that presidential material in the age of Obama, or should Republicans be wary of doing it again?
Doing what again?
Well-spoken young guy.
Yeah,
well, this is okay. So isn't that weird?
Yeah,
I'm just asking about your party.
Fair enough. You're asking the converse of Trump, and people say, well, Trump doesn't know everyone's name and he can't put out these plans. I'm not sure that voters in our primary care so much about that as they care, will you go whack Washington with a 2x4? And so it's kind of a strange moment. A lot of people who are in that room look at what Trump did tonight and they say, he hurt himself. My guess is he did not hurt himself.
So the measuring rod is still, how much do you hate the way things are?
That's right. Totally.
Somebody said that tonight.
Well, I think that's true, but I also think that there was a little bit of the patina taken off of him by Carly Fiorina tonight. I think there were some signature moments where Trump effectively threw up the white flag when he goes and...
Well, would you have done it or not?
Oh, yeah.
Did you have to put up the flag with another woman fight two in a row?
You don't want to go
there. Trump is a smart guy.
I thought last time, I can't knock him for putting up the flag because I said last time he should have put up the flag with Megyn Kelly.
No,
let her have the round.
Yeah, but there's a difference. Megyn Kelly is a good foil because even though she's with Fox, she's still a journalist.
That's right.
And you saw the reaction to that. Whereas Carly Fiorina is an equal. She's a businesswoman like him. Yeah. She's a candidate for president like him. So suddenly the dynamic is very different, and he's a smart enough man to know.
She sure got, look, let me tell you. Good.
She very good.
Executes. She is someone who's ready to answer these questions. By the way, Chris, you say she doesn't just memorize names for a debate.
I didn't say she did.
No, I know, but she's really thought this stuff through.
Yeah.
You can really see the difference.
Yeah. I thought that Trump is constantly thinking now. He wasn't before.
That's right.
He's constantly thinking, do I want to fight with another woman?
That's right.
Do I want to take this fight? Do I want to make admissions like he said tonight? I don't know all the names.
That's right.
I'll learn them when I get in there.
Yeah, that's exactly
an amazing concession. That will be used against her by Hillary Clinton because she's somebody who does value that stuff. She'll say, wait a minute, he doesn't know the names of these people? But he doesn't know the Cuds force from the herds?
Yeah. But to Matt's point, that if that's a commercial in a general election, it's not going to help Hillary because that, again, is something that resonates with people because they don't know the names. And so the idea that he's being honest about that authentic
I
about
just
that.
don't think this is not a resume election.
It's not a resume
Well, let's
election.
take a look at this. Marco Rubio took issue with something Dr. Ben Carson said about fighting Islamic terrorism. Let's watch.
I have no argument with having a strong leader and to be aggressive where aggression is needed, but it's not needed in every circumstance. There is a time when you can use your intellect to come up with other ways to do things, and I think that's what we have to start thinking about.
Radical terrorism cannot be solved by intellect. It cannot. What they need is an operating space. That's what Afghanistan was for Al-Qaeda. You cannot allow radical jihadists to have an operating safe haven anywhere in the world.
Well, there he is. You know, the battle was one guy, Carson says, let's think it through and let's do back. We leveraged them back. If they do something, we deny them this, deny them that, so they get the message. And then Rubio basically, no, bomb them. It was like, let's go get them. It's this visceral, I think he's playing to the money people out there. I'm sorry. I think every time he talks, is Sheldon Adelson like what I said tonight? Does Freeman like what I said tonight? These daddy warbucks willing to give millions of dollars because they're hawkish on Israel. And he hits, of course, he hits the whole globe. He wants to fight everybody. I mean, who was tonight? Cruz? Who was fighting over the Chinese islands tonight? And how the North Koreans going to hit us with an ICBM? I mean, this was pretty apocalyptic, these guys. I mean,
look,
how can we get biblical about it?
It's where our party is, let's face it.
Why is it so? Is this stuff? Is this Old Testament stuff?
No, because there's a confusion, Chris. There's a real conversation in our party about was Bush right, was Cheney right, or did Reagan have a different viewpoint? And Jeb Bush actually said it tonight.
Does anybody think the Iraq War made sense to make it safer?
I think those that want to give a positive answer to that, the best thing they can say is history will be the guide. We'll know in 10 or 20 years. It's the best answer you can get. Other folks say a disaster. But look, Rand Paul fell right into stereotype. Let's, legalize drugs.
But he's right about one thing. If you're super hawkish, Likudnik, pro-Israel, you know a big mistake was made there. What was the biggest buffer between Israel and Iran, their arch enemy? Was Iraq.
That's right.
They fought them to the death. How many years of warfare?
That's right.
They were a government led by Sunnis that was willing to take on the Shia-led government of Iran and fight them to the death, and they did it.
That's
now
right.
Israel's all alone in the region, and now you got ISIS there. So I don't think you can argue that Israel's better off if you care about
But my
Israel.
point is, what was happening on stage for Republicans is, who do they look back to who had this right? For Republicans, it is this peace through strength model, a big, scary military that you seldom use.
Just remember, everybody was united about Afghanistan. Where the country began to divide was over Iraq. Thank you, Michael Steele.